Hey everybody, Almost Pro Pilot here, and welcome back to a new PTFS video, and today we have a big one, the Greater Rockford Island update. In this video I'm going to be covering the Greater Rockford Airport redesign and smaller surrounding airports, Baltic Airfield, the complete redesign, and the placement of Mellor in relation to the Greater Rockford International Airport, and what this means for the future of flying here. To start things off, we are in the map, and I'll spare zero secrets. The training centre, Waterloo and Coast Guard Centre are essentially the same place, just placed a bit differently really, and the airbase has had some minor changes which I won't be going into, but here's a photo. The Greater Rockford International Airport, however, though, has had some changes, and oh boy are they drastic. Firstly, and most obviously, there's the third runway. 36 left and right are still positioned like they used to be, however now split further apart because 25 Centre, as they're now called, has now been added into the mix. With a 3,680 foot long runway, it is in the Goldilocks range of the other two, however getting there will take time and the taxiways are certainly plentiful. To get to 25 Central, you have to backtrack the whole length of the runway and use this ugly looking runway turn off and on little area down the end. For a 25 right, this is the only airport you'd have to cross two separate runways to get to, and saying that, this is the first PTFS airport to have 3 runways in its history, I believe. Moving on from runways, this place has an impressive 20 gates with space for 3 more aircraft at the cargo terminal, 4 more in the hangars, 2 on the helipads, 1 at the fuel, leaving this airport with a stationary capacity of 30 whole aircraft, which is ridiculous, can I add. In terms of fun facts, Rockford has an engine testing facility now with a fire training aircraft fuselage to accompany it. I believe it to also be the first in-game airport to have 2 terminals as well, as it has been confirmed to be a replica of Manchester Airport according to the man Orange himself. Moving off of Greater Rockford Airport grounds and into the sea, since in the Greater Rockford Bay Area we can now spot the HMS Queen Elizabeth aircraft carrier. Personally, I like how close to the island it is, as it feels as if it's leaving to go on a mission somewhere, which could possibly be an idea for future updates. If it doesn't move, I'm unsure as to why it isn't on the Greater Rockford tab on the main menu though. This just seems a bit of an inconvenience really. Back on land now, though, and we find an F1 track on the approach paths of 07 left, central and right, which is the Sao Paulo Autodromo José Carlos Pace, a track I am very familiar with from my many years of playing the F1 games. It's one of my favourite tracks. But moving on to the city now, which remains largely unchanged, other than a couple Goodwan sponsorships dotted around the place. Rockford Football Club returns, and this update also sees the introduction of a rugby stadium to the heart of the city. The city planners really had a field day with that one. Baltic, Baltic, you sly son of a... So this airport is also based off a real one, however a little inaccurate, but can you really blame them? This place now delivers beautiful encapsulating views of the metropolitan cityscape out of your hotel room window, but also around the back too, with the 4th bridge staring right back at you as you park your car. Yes, this place does exist in real life, and it's called the Mountain Air Country Club near Burnsville, North Carolina in North America. This place is famous for being mega expensive and only possible to reach by plane. At an elevation of 4,436 feet in real life, it is the highest elevated runway east of the Mississippi River and has a length of 2,875 feet. So the runway is sloped to assist with arrival and departure, however this is not reflected in game. In terms of in-game stats, it has 2 spawn locations, a 1,378 foot runway, and a little resort to the right of runway 19er, which will cost an arm and a leg to stay one night in. Oh, and the liability insurance we need to fly here is $1 million, which should be in my house somewhere. Lastly, we move on to my new favourite, Mellor. Absolutely nothing's changed about it, but the fact that it's distanced a nice, safe distance away from Rockford, and it's based off Bristol Airport, god damn. The view here is insane with the 4th bridge again, and the approaches will be something else. Thankfully, since Mellor is a safe distance from Rockford, it should have a better argument for being used, as you won't be as tempted to go to Greater Rockford. The only downside about the airport's placement is that it's now closer to Grindavik and maybe at a stretch Southamptona, meaning the shuttle flights are quicker rather than longer, which I'd have preferred. To conclude, a nicely large update which brought a huge change to an area which was begging for a makeover, and it is one of which has been tastefully done and added more improvements than downgrades, which is always a win in my book. The update videos on the update were a lovely insight into the game's developmental progress, and some little confirmations were nice too. My favourite parts are the changes to Rockford. Baltic having a reason to live, Melor social distancing from its big brother, and the island looking like a mermaid chasing a pregnant man. Good night.